Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. RHOC, Alexis Bellino slapped Shannon Beador with the truth. RHOC star Shannon Beador was slapped with the truth by Alexis Bellino, who returned to the series after exiting in Season 8. The two never filmed together before, and were not friends prior to Season 18 starting. Yet, they had a lot of issues to work through, and they all were linked to one person. Keep reading for more details. Alexis Bellino exited RHOC after Season 8 and went on with her life. The mother of 3 divorced her husband, Jim Bellino. He ultimately sued Tamra Judge and Shannon Beador, which cost the ladies a lot of money. Alexis maintained she had nothing to do with it as they were already divorced and wanted that left in the past. She moved on and got engaged to someone new. More so, she and Tamra, who had a rough history, reconciled at BravoCon 2023. At the same time, her engagement fell apart. Therefore, she started to date Shannon's ex-boyfriend, John Jansen. This has not been easy for Shannon, who was arrested for a hit-and-run DUI in September 2023. More so, she is no longer friends with Tamra and feels very alone. Now, Season 18 has begun, and with Alexis dating John, it seemed like the perfect time to bring her back to the RHOC. The two were bound to run into each other, and since Heather Dubrow was having an all-inclusive party, she invited Shannon and Alexis. Shannon decided to ask Alexis to come outside for a chat. She wanted to let Alexis Bellino know that they would never be best friends, which was fine. Shannon Beador then led into the Bellino lawsuit, which Alexis claimed she was not even a part of. She tried to speak but was consistently interrupted, no matter what she tried to say. Finally, Alexis reminded her that she had John Jansen and Shannon did not, according to People. She also wanted it known she was innocent in the whole court situation. I know this is uncomfortable for both of us when you're the ex and I'm the new. If you go back to any court documents and anything else, show me the proof of my name being on anything, because Jim and I had been divorced for 6 months when he sued you. Shannon tried to claim she wanted her $300,000 back, and John was there through the whole lawsuit drama, but Alexis clapped back. I think what the real issue is here is that I have your ex-boyfriend. That's what the real issue is. So guess what? Move on. We're moving forward in this relationship. As Alexis Bellino slapped Shannon Beador with the truth or hers, at least, the RHOC ladies were inside Heather's party. They were staring outside of the window, trying to read what the women were saying, so they could know if it was going good or bad. It was clearly not going well at all, and Alexis is determined to let everyone know that John Jansen is a good guy. He is her man. He has been misunderstood all of this time, and no one should believe what Shannon has to say. Alexis Bellino was back on the Real Housewives of Orange County scene, and she wasn't holding back. This time, she had a bone to pick with Shannon Beador. Their long-standing tension was about to hit a breaking point, as Alexis came prepared to confront Shannon with the truth in a way that only Alexis Bellino could. The gathering was supposed to be a casual lunch, with the ladies getting together to catch up and discuss their ongoing drama. But with Alexis at the table, casual was the last word anyone would use to describe it. She arrived at the restaurant looking impeccable, a vision of poise and calm, but anyone who knew her could see the determination in her eyes. This was more than a simple social call. Shannon Beador, meanwhile, seemed blissfully unaware of the impending storm. She was seated at the head of the table, laughing with Heather and Gina, basking in the attention, and only half-heartedly acknowledging Alexis as she took her seat. Shannon's sense of control was evident in the way she held court, guiding the conversation and drawing everyone's focus back to her latest drama. As the lunch progressed, Alexis kept her cards close, responding politely but giving Shannon an occasional look that hinted at something brewing beneath the surface. It was Heather who eventually picked up on the tension, giving Alexis a gentle nudge. Are you okay, Alexis? Heather asked, raising an eyebrow knowingly. Oh, I'm fine, Heather, Alexis replied, setting her glass down and folding her hands in front of her. Actually, I'm better than fine. I'm here because I need to clear the air about a few things. The entire table went silent, all eyes on Alexis. Even Shannon was caught off guard, her smile fading as she shifted in her seat. Shannon, Alexis began, her voice steady and calm. I think it's time you heard the truth. Not just about what I think of you, but about the way you've treated everyone in this group, especially me. Shannon's face twisted with confusion and mild irritation. What are you talking about, Alexis? We've hardly interacted in years, she scoffed, waving her hand dismissively. Alexis didn't flinch. Exactly. And yet, that hasn't stopped you from talking about me behind my back, making judgments, and acting like you're somehow better than everyone else. It's the same thing you do to everyone in this group. You have this way of elevating yourself, pretending that your life is the gold standard, and we're all supposed to fall in line. Shannon rolled her eyes. Oh, please, Alexis, don't make this a bigger deal than it is. You're reading way too much into things, as usual. But Alexis wasn't done. No, Shannon, I'm not, she said, her voice firmer now. You've spent years making snide comments and backhanded compliments, all while playing the victim. You act like you're everyone's friend, but the moment they're not useful to you, you cast them aside. Shannon's mouth dropped open, clearly unprepared for the bluntness of Alexis' words. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish here, Shannon retorted, visibly rattled but trying to regain her composure. I think you're just trying to make yourself relevant again. Relevant? Alexis laughed, shaking her head. This isn't about relevance, Shannon. It's about accountability. You walk around pointing fingers at everyone, highlighting their flaws, but never once do you stop to take a hard look at yourself. Heather and Gina exchanged nervous glances, clearly intrigued but cautious about getting involved. Take my divorce, for instance. Alexis continued, her gaze fixed on Shannon. You had plenty to say about that, didn't you? You made it seem like it was some massive failure on my part, as if I didn't try hard enough to save my marriage. But guess what, Shannon? Sometimes things just don't work out, and that doesn't make someone a failure. But you wouldn't know anything about self-reflection, would you? Shannon's cheeks flushed with embarrassment. I never said that, Alexis, she protested weakly, but it was clear that Alexis' words were striking a nerve. Yes, you did, Alexis replied calmly. You may not have said it outright, but you implied it time and time again. And that's the problem. You pretend to be supportive, but underneath it, there's this condescending attitude, this assumption that you're somehow superior. By now, the other ladies were glued to their seats, unable to look away from the showdown unfolding before them. Emily, who had been relatively quiet, leaned in, clearly invested in the drama. Look, Alexis, I understand that you're still upset about things that happened years ago, Shannon stammered, attempting to regain control of the conversation. But maybe you should focus on moving forward and not digging up old wounds. Moving forward? Alexis repeated, her eyes narrowing. Is that what you told yourself when you spread rumors about me, about my family, when you cast judgment on every choice I made? You love to preach about moving forward, Shannon, but you're the one who can't let go of your insecurities. Shannon opened her mouth to respond but stopped, struggling to find the words. Alexis seized the moment, her voice now softer but more intense. Shannon, this isn't about me. This is about you, she said. I've moved on. I'm happy with my life, but you? You're stuck. You're trapped in this cycle of needing everyone to see you a certain way, to validate you, and it's exhausting. Not just for you, but for everyone around you, and I don't think you even realize it. The room fell silent again. Shannon seemed at a loss, her usual bravado stripped away as she faced the stark reality of Alexis' words. For once, she didn't have a witty comeback, a way to deflect the conversation back in her favor. Taking a deep breath, Alexis softened her tone, though her message was still piercing. Shannon, all I'm asking is for you to take a step back and think about how you affect the people around you. Your friendships, your relationships, they can only handle so much before they break. And I don't want to see that happen to you as much as you might think otherwise. Finally, Shannon's defenses cracked. Her eyes dropped to the table, and for a brief moment, there was a flicker of vulnerability that rarely surfaced. I guess I never thought about it that way, she admitted quietly. Alexis offered a faint, understanding smile. It's never easy to hear the truth, Shannon, but sometimes it's the only way to grow. I may not have been perfect, and we may never see eye to eye, but that doesn't mean we can't learn from each other. Heather broke the silence with a slow clap, her face beaming with approval. Well said, Alexis. Maybe we could all use a bit of reflection, she added, glancing pointedly around the table. As lunch wrapped up, there was a palpable shift in the air. Shannon, though visibly shaken, seemed to take Alexis' words to heart, nodding quietly as she processed everything. For Alexis, this wasn't about winning an argument or proving a point. She had finally spoken her truth, no longer willing to let Shannon's judgment define her. And for the rest of the group, it was a moment of clarity, a reminder that behind all the glamour and drama, real growth only happens when someone dares to tell it like it is. Alexis had done just that, and in doing so, she had left a lasting impact on everyone around her.